Yep, I don't have any socks today. Too hot for socks. Yes. So welcome to chair yoga, everyone, in the room and at home. Let's try to not get too hot, so make sure you've got some cold drink of some kind. We'll move, we'll make some shapes, we'll relax, and hopefully we'll go home feeling better than we came in. But we will try to not move too quickly and too much. So let's start by not moving and sitting up nice and tall. So when we sit up tall, we sometimes think of like, oh, I'm going to get the, and we push our ribs out and we're almost in the back bend. So let's try to not be in that back bend. So think of the ribs coming in and down a little bit of core work there. That's sitting up straight. And then let the upper back relax because we don't want to work too hard. And then let the head drop. Draw the elbows back a little bit so the hands are nice and relaxed. And just pay some attention to your breathing. And it might help to bring your hands to your belly, or one hand to your belly and one to your chest, or you can keep them down. So we're not trying to change our breathing, we're just noticing what's happening. So if you're nice and relaxed, you might feel your belly moving or your chest moving as you breathe in. And you might feel everything relaxing as you breathe out. So I would usually say we try to breathe in and out through our nose. Sometimes that can help us produce heat. And we don't really want to be bringing heat in. So it might be more helpful to breathe in through the nose and just gently out through the mouth. If that helps you cool down, go ahead and do that. And notice the back of your body, the ribs against the chair. And see if you can feel any sensation as you breathe in that back area. Again, we're not trying to force it, we're not trying to make it happen, just noticing it. Let's bring the hands back down to the thighs, let them be heavy. Let's begin to move around nice and slowly. So next time we breathe in, let's lift the chin, lengthen through the throat. And as you exhale, slowly lower, let the back of the neck lengthen. Oh, and you might feel a little stretch down between your shoulder blades. So we'll do that a couple of times. Let's do one more. Let's keep the head down when the chin is down. And then we'll slowly make little semicircles at the bottom over to one shoulder and then down through the center and over to the other. And as you're doing that, just notice any difference in the sensation as you bring it to one side and then the other. So you can keep this as small or make it as big as you like. So you might be feeling this in your neck or in your shoulder. We'll come back to the center. Let's lift the chin back to its neutral position and we'll turn the head slowly towards the right. Through the center and then towards the left. So again, notice if you can turn it more easily in one direction. This is a movement we need to be able to do when we're reversing the car, because maybe we don't have a fancy camera and we actually have to look over our shoulders. Do one more to each side. And then we'll come back to the center. Let's move the shoulders around a little bit. A few times and then switch directions. Oh, you know what would be a really good exercise is to try and move one shoulder in one direction and the other one in the other. Is that possible? Yeah, so one goes, I don't think I can do, yeah, maybe, yeah, we can do that. Let's come up to the center, so bring them up, and one goes forward as the other goes back. Yeah, look at us, patting our heads and rubbing our tummies at the same time, and then everything hangs down. Yeah, yeah, that's too much brain work there. Let's do our hands. Make gentle fists, and we'll circle them. So this is for Brian in his absence, just to make sure we're always thinking about them, and switch directions. And then stretch them out wide, and then make a fist. Stretch them wide, and make a fist. Let's do it 2 more times. And then we'll add to it. Stretch them, make a claw, and a beak, and a fist. Stretch, and claw, and beak, and fist. Okay, that's a little scary, isn't it? So we always, we've been doing it and then doing it with our eyes closed. So I think we should do it without me speaking and just try to follow. So I'll try to go slowly because it's not fair on you, but let's just use our visual senses first, okay? So we'll start off with one round that we've already done and then we'll start mixing it up. And I'll really try hard not to speak. Now we're going to mix it up. It's pretty good. It wasn't as easy. I thought you did okay. I think you both actually did it. Yeah, it was hard not to speak. So now you're going to close your eyes and I will speak and you will listen. So stretch, fist, claw, fist, beak, beak, fist, claw, stretch, beak, claw, beak, claw, fist, stretch, beak, claw, stretch, fist, claw, and that's stop there. I was doing claw, and you missed one when I actually said one thing and did another. That's the beauty of not being able to see. So we're trying to use all of our senses. That's maybe it's harder for me than it's for you. So let's stretch out our hands a little bit. Right hand up, pinky, stretch. So we're just gently resting those fingers on the pinky. So let's notice where we feel this. Because we do this every week and we probably don't think about it. So just notice where you feel that stretch, if you feel a stretch. Then we'll move to the ring finger and see if it feels any different. It's a different tendon in your hand, so you should be feeling something a little different. You've just learnt that. Middle finger. I'm the opposite. I can't take oral instructions very well. And then index finger. That's interesting. So you could just do the whole thing with your eyes closed. And then the thumb. Well, that's a reason to do it then, isn't it? To keep those senses working. And let's see if any of those fingers need a little bit of help. Might feel okay today. Who knows why? Oh. And let's try the other hand. So this is my dominant hand, so it feels a bit different than the other one. So pinky finger. My dominant. So feel that stretch in the hand, maybe up into the arm. I'm donating with this hand. ring finger. Oh, I can feel the pulse in that finger. The middle finger. And then the other one, index finger, thank you. Engage brain. And then the thumb. Ooh. So what did you do that make that so sore? Let's give that thumb a little. Are you left-handed? No. Oh. Oh. Yeah. You know, every day is a little adventure, isn't it? Of what's our body going to do to us today? Let's be gentle. Just get some blood moving there. You need to get some oxygen flowing over there. Yeah, and you can almost, if Brian was here, he would be pulling his fingers, but that sense of pulling the finger out without actually pulling it, but just getting the blood moving along the length of the finger without cracking the knuckles. Who thought we would miss that sound? It's like just slipping a ring off that finger. And then give them a little shake or make some circles or jazz hands, whatever you want to think of it. Oh, Carolyn's going for the hand massage. What a good idea. I'm a bit jealous now. Yeah, if you're at home and you have some hand cream handy, this is a nice way of giving yourself a proper little hand massage. Let's stretch the arms out a little bit. Bring that right hand out, turn the palm down. Let's start by relaxing the shoulder and then stretching out this arm. So you could try the fingers. You could try the hand. It feels a little different. Just keep breathing. Breathe in that good, clean, cool air. Breathe out the stale heat. That's okay. You make me do it now. They do say it's contagious, isn't it? Then let that arm move around a little bit. Yep. And then we'll try the other hand. Turn the palm down, relax the shoulder, and stretch out the arm. Okay, it's very strange. Oh, I'm just going to say it's very strange music, and then it stopped. And then release that, give it a little shake out. You good? Let's move the arms a little bit. So take the right arm up, out, and around. Let's do that a couple of times. We're going to do it really slowly because we don't want to get too hot. You might need to bend your elbow. It might not come back very far. Ooh, and let's do the left arm. So you should do your right arm a couple of times first. And then let's do that in reverse. So the right arm goes back first, then comes up and around. Up and around. Let's switch to the other arm, reaching back and up and forward. Yes. Let's sit up away from our chair, move our bodies a little bit. So as we think of making those shapes with our bodies, they might be very small and subtle, or they might be really big, depending on how you're feeling. So we're going to start by extending the back. So think of lifting the chest up, drawing the shoulder blades together, and the ribs might come forward. You might be tilting forward on that pelvis. And come through the center back to that beautiful neutral spine, and then tuck the opposite way. So think of that sad dog, tucking the tail under and rounding the spine. So your forward fold might look like this, or you might be making a really big shape. It's all the same shape. We'll come back up through the center. Lift the chin and chest. Just draw the elbows back a little bit. and then come through the center, and then come forward. So I'm not cueing a breath here because I want you to move really slowly, and that would be a very slow breath. So try to just keep breathing at a normal pace and then keep moving. Yeah, nice. And then folding forward. Let's do one more after this. And when you get to the end of this part, squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit. Think of the shoulders getting wider, and then come up and through that forward fold. Take a couple of breaths here. Hands can stay on the knees. Your arms can come to your thighs. Take a couple of breaths. Think about breathing into your back ribs. And maybe take some cold water right now if you've got some. And we'll come all the way, sit up nice and tall. Now let's move the spine in a different way. Let's reach the right arm up and take a little side bend to the left. So try and keep the right side of that pelvis, so your right cheek on the chair. Come up through the center, reach that arm nice and wide out, and then reach the left arm up. And then up and over. So this side is pushing down here. We're reaching up and over. And then come back up to the center. Do that a couple of times. So we're reaching up. So for now, the chest is still facing the front. Keep it reaching. Come back up through the center. Do you have allergies? Just runny nose. And come up and over. Yes. So let's do our I Dream of Genie arms, and we'll do some little twisting. So we're trying to keep the pelvis still, and we're moving the rib cage, but we're going to start off really small. So maybe just to like 30 degrees, so a tiny bit. And come back to the center, and then we'll go the other way. So not very big at all. So we're just moving the rib cage, and the hips are staying pretty much still. And then let's make it a little bit bigger. So maybe to the corner. You know, if you were facing the front, it would be the corner. We're at a strange angle today. Good. Nice. And let's bring the arms out in front. We're going to start by turning the rib cage. That right arm will bend, and I want you to keep pushing it behind, so you're elbowing something behind you, and feel those muscles in the back doing a little bit of work to help pull you around. And then come back through the center, and we'll twist to the left, bending that left elbow, reach it. So when you get a little bit past your back and you push that elbow back, you might feel those muscles around the shoulder blade helping to move you, and then come back to the center. Let's do that once more to each side. I know your arms are probably getting heavy out here. Once to the right, twisting, turning the rib cage, using that shoulder blade, and then slowly back through the center, and then all the way to the other side, and then come back to the center. Relax the arms down. Surprising how heavy those arms get, isn't it? So let's give our upper bodies a little rest, and we'll do our feet. So this is for Juanita, her favorite. Lifting the heels and lowering. We'll do that a couple of times. Lift and lower. And then we'll lift the toes. So pulling the toes up, trying to get that flexion and lower. So trying to keep some ankle mobility here. So this is really Juanita's favorite. So toes of one foot and heels of another. And then switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. Couple more. I think you're channeling Juanita there. She is here in spirit. And let's come back to the center and move. Ooh, get those knees, get the clicks and cricks out of our knees, lengthening one leg and then the other. And then when you feel that your legs are moving, you can reach through that heel and then lift and reach through the heel. So pulling the toes back towards you. Lift and reach and lift and reach. Let's do one more each side. And then next time you lift the right leg, we'll leave it up there. We'll point and flex. Yeah. And then let's make our circles. So what shall we write today? Let's write summer. Endless summer. And then bring it down, do a little bit of movement. And we'll try the other leg. Reaching the left leg out, we'll point and flex. Let's make our circles. And switch directions. And we will write endless, interminable, because it feels like an endless summer. And then we'll bring that leg down, give it a little shake. Doesn't feel like it to you? Maybe you're used to the heat. So let's do a little bit of leg work. So let's bring the leg out. So there's some options here. You can do this with a bent knee, but it's a little bit harder to do it with a straight leg. And we're just going to think of lifting and lowering that leg, but we're trying to use that hip flexor to lift it. If that feels too much, this is pretty much the same, hard work. So you can lift it, and let's do that. Let's lift it out and then bring it in and bend it. And then we'll do the left leg. So we'll start with it out. So we want it to be even, up and down a few times. You might notice it's more difficult on one side. And then we'll bring it in and lift, and then out and lift. In and out. In and out. Let's do one more. Ooh. Bring the feet wide. Let's come into an elegant pose here. Bring the hands to the thighs or the knees. We're going to drop one shoulder in. We're coming into our jazz portion of the class here. We're dropping one shoulder and then the other. So again, this could be a little movement, or you can really put the whole body into it and make this a really big twist. Do one more to each side. And come back to the center. Sit up nice and tall. So get right on top of those sits bones. We'll take the right arm out. We're going to sweep it across, catch hold of it with the lower arm, and then look over the right shoulder. Let's find some good posture here while we're doing this. So draw the ribs in, engage the belly a little. Just lift the heels. And then lower the heels. Bring the head back to the center, release the arm. Make a couple of circles with that right arm in each direction. Let's try the left arm. Sweep it across, grab hold of it, and look over the left shoulder. Let's lift the toes. Let's lower the toes. Bring the head back to the center, unwind the arm, make a couple of circles. Heel toe the feet back in, so they're underneath you. And we'll sit up nice and tall. Bring the arms down by the side. So remember, if your arms are tired, you don't have to make these really big movements. Lifting your arms up can be to here, okay? So inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. And everything relax here. And we're finding that flat back, so lengthen the spine, top of the head reaches forward, and then fold. Slowly stacking the spine, reach the arms overhead. Just bring the hands down through the center. Pause there for an extra breath. Lower the arms. Begin to reach up and fold. Find your flat back and fold. Slowly reach the arms all the way up. Bring them down through the center. We're going to keep them there. We're going to come back to our little twist. So relax the shoulders. So if your shoulders are coming up, then maybe your elbows are too far out. So just keep the shoulders relaxed and bring the hands to wherever they can go. So it's hard to have them too far out. So keeping the hands in front of the center of the chest, turning to the right. So you can help, maybe push with that left hand a little bit. See what that does. And then come back through the center. Turning to the left, push with that right hand a little bit. Do that once more to each side. And back to the center, and then to the left. And then come back to the center, lower down. And stretch out the wrists a little bit. Take the right hand out, bring the thumb just to the wrist, and gently squeeze it. So bring the fingers, yep. Just give it a little squeeze. And then we'll switch hands. So the thumb underneath the wrist, just gently, squeezing it. And then relax everything. Give those a little more jazz hand action here, or our wind sock moving up. Yeah, I felt one of mine didn't want to move properly. It's like needs to click or something. We're all so strange, aren't we? So let's try a little bit of coordination. So I've worked this out in my head, but I was on the wrong kind of chair to try it. So let's try. So we're going to start with the right hand. We're going to bring it down to the opposite side, like we're reaching for something. And then we're going to reach up as though you're like stretching out through a band. So you can bend the elbow and then reach it out. Nice. And then bring it down. So reaching, maybe you're pulling out a big, something stretchy, taffy. Yeah, reach it up. Good. Let's try the other arm. So down to the right. Reach it out and open. So we're opening across the chest and then down and reach it up. And once more down and then reach it up. And then relax that arm down. Let the shoulders move around a little bit. Okay, so let's see if this works. So I'm thinking that we could move a leg at the same time. So if we reach down with the right arm, let's try to lift that left leg as we reach up and out. And then bring everything down, dipping into our bucket or whatever it is, and lift up and back. And once more, reaching down and up and then lower down. Yeah, I think because of, yes, try to. You want to do that once more? Well, let's do the other side and then we'll come back to that side. So we won't do too much in one go. So with the left arm down, I'm going to reach it up and try and lift that right leg. I think you're right. I think I was doing the same thing. Yeah. Down and lift it up. Try to come through the center of that nice neutral spine and then reach down and then lift it up and then relax everything. So when we do this, just as we do it, right, we focus on the legs moving and not using our bodies. But because we've added in that little complication, let's not let everything be thrown out. Okay, so we'll do 2 more on each side. By request, just so you know, somebody asked me. We know which is her car. So down to the left, lift up, keep everything tucked in and lift that left leg if you can. And bring it down and then reach it up. And then lower it, and we'll switch sides. Down to the right, reach up and out. Lower down, and reach up and out. Oh, well done. That was not, yeah, just, it's a little bit of work. Yes, a little bit of across the sling. So let's try a little bit of our Saturday Night Fever, dating ourselves here. Actually, I've never seen that film. I keep telling myself I'm going to see it. So because we're on the chair, there's a limit to how far we can move our legs. So we're not doing the full John Travolta, right? But we're just going to move that one leg out to the side and then bring it back in. We're going to tap it out and bring it in. As you do that, reach the opposite arm and bring it in. And bring it in. Nice. Ooh. We're back to disco. I have no idea how much. Let's do 2 more. I wasn't counting. Yeah. Nice. Very good. And then we'll switch. Yeah, if you're on the right kind of chair, you might be able to like slide it out like that, but I don't want anyone to fall off their chair. Yeah. And 1 more. Reach and down. Then both like, no. Let's do both arms up and down. Probably could actually. Yeah. So let's turn around to the right. So this is one for cricket because she always felt she was going to fall off the chair with it. So we're holding on to the back of the chair with the right arm, and that right foot is flat on the floor. Let the left knee drop down. Just let that leg hang here for a moment, right? Let's gravity do some work for us here. Come back to that neutral spine. So drawing the ribs in. So the shoulders are over the hips. We're not making a back bend, not yet. And just breathe. Let's lift that left arm out to the side and over towards the chair. And then come back up to the center. Just leave it reaching to the ceiling so we're not moving it that far. And then over to the chair. And then back up. We'll do that 2 more times. Nice. Bring that arm down. So without pulling on the chair, I want you to turn your ribcage to the right. You can bring that left hand to the chair, but not to push you around more. You're just holding onto the chair for support, not to pull you into a twist that's too far for you, if you understand. Yeah. And you might be able to look a little bit towards that right shoulder. In this little twist, you might feel a bit more of a stretch in the front of that left hip. And keep breathing. And bring everything back to the center. Let's bring this left foot in, slide it out into the middle. Just pause there again. Just let gravity work for us a little bit. And keep the spine nice and long. I want you to think of both sides of the torso here, the space between the ribs and the hips. Try to keep those the same length. So it's not a side bend like we just did, but we're tucking this hip under and keeping the bottom ribs nice and long as we head towards our triangle. That's what makes it a triangle and not a slice of pizza. Slowly come back up. Bring that leg in. Let's bring it to the floor and let it just rotate in and out a few times. And then we'll come back through the center, holding onto the chair as you do that, around to the other side. So now we're holding onto the chair with the left hand, right knee reaching towards the floor. And we'll just take a couple of breaths here. Nice long spine. Sweep the right arm up and then side bend towards the chair. And then come back up to the center. And we'll take that side bend again. We're going to do that 2 more times. And come back to the center, lower the arm. Turn the rib cage towards the chair, holding onto the chair. You can bring that right hand there for some support. Don't pull yourself around. But you can turn your head to look towards that left shoulder. And slowly unwind. Bring that right foot in. And we'll slide it out to the center. Pausing for a moment here. So you may already feel a stretch here, in which case just stay here. And again, keeping both sides of the rib cage nice and long, tilting towards that lengthened leg, holding onto the chair with your left hand. Right arm can reach down towards the knee. And slowly lengthen. Bring the leg in. Give a little movement in and out. And we'll slowly make our way back to the center of your chair. Take a little pause there, have some more water. Let's sit up nice and tall. Reach the arms out wide. I'm going to wrap the arms around. Right arm comes on top of the left. Give yourself a big hug or a little hug, however far around you can get. And begin to drop the chin and slowly curl forward. So think about coming from the upper back first, so you're peeling off against the wall. So you can stop any time, or you can come into a really big forward fold if that feels okay. And breathe into those back ribs. Slowly begin to lengthen. So from the lower back first, stacking one vertebra on top of the other, like a fern uncurling. Let's release the arms. And then switch to have the other arm on top. So that should be the left arm on top of it. However many arms you have, choose another one, yes. And dropping the chin and begin to curl forward. And again, always stop whenever you want to. begin to uncurl, stacking the spine slowly. When you get to the top, lifting your head, open the arms wide. Just lift them up towards the ceiling. And then turn the palms and push them down as though you're coming up through water. Do that a couple of times. Lifting up. And then slowly lower. Do one more. And lower. Let's take that child's pose or our resting pose. Hands on the knees or forearms on the thighs. Coming into a forward fold and taking a few slow breaths. And slowly lengthen. Let's bring the hands to heart center. We'll inhale and reach the arms up. And bring them to a cactus arms. Keeping the spine long, hinge forward. And then fold. Come up halfway to your flat back. And fold. Inhale, lift, reach the arms up. And come to our cactus. Let's take a side bend. And to the other side. One more to each side. Come back to the center, lower the arms, lift the chin and chest, draw the elbows back, and then tuck everything under around the opposite way. Do that once more. Breathing in, lift the chin and chest, elbows come back, shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, fold forward. Take a breath here. And next time you're breathing in, slowly lengthen. We'll bring the hands to heart center. Inhale to reach. And find your cactus. Hinge forward and fold. Lift halfway and fold. Slowly uncurling, lift the arms up. Meeting back in our cactus shape. This time we'll take some twists. So to the right, back to the center, to the left. Once more to each side. And come back to the center, lower the arms, lift the chin and chest, draw the elbows back. Tuck the tail under, reach the arms forward. Last time, lift the chin and chest, reach the arms back, like airplane arms. Turn the palms out. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Keep breathing. And slowly curl everything the opposite way, reaching the arms forward. Bring the arms down and take a couple of breaths. Begin to lengthen. Move around a little bit. It's a really important part that we don't pay. It's because we're changing the shape of the spine. Like we're folding and then we're lengthening and then we're folding. So quite often in regular yoga classes, people aren't doing that, and I have to stop them. So no, I don't like to say flat back because it's not really flat, but it's that neutral. It's this shape rather than that shape. So it's a little movement that's really good for you to change that shape. So we've got a little bit of back bending, a bit of flexion, and then some strengthening. Yeah, it's good. And it's an easy thing we could do at home every day. We don't, but we could. Yes, absolutely. It's a functional movement, right? We need to be able to fold forward. We need to lift. let's stretch out those legs a little bit. So scoot forward a bit on your chair. And let's do the left leg first. Scandalous. I know. The heels on the floor, toes are reaching back. So let's just pause here for a minute and really think of those toes pulling back, and then relax it and then pull them back. This flexion is a very important movement. So we need to keep practicing that. We lose strength there and that stops us from being able to walk properly. So now we'll pull it back. Let's bring the hands to the opposite thigh and we'll hinge forward. So we're hinging forward because we're tilting the pelvis forward. So when you can't tilt anymore, then you can let the upper back relax down. Just got really warm. Oh, the fan's not on, that's why. I just realised here. Didn't realise. I can't move any more slowly than this. We'll be in Shavasana the whole time. That's not a bad thing. And then let's slowly lengthen. Bring that leg in. Let's move it around a little bit. Whew. Yes, yeah, it's a good stretch. And let's bring the right leg out. Now let's point and flex that a few times. And then hinge forward. So some people have short hamstrings and they would feel a stretch immediately. Some people have long hamstrings and they could just keep going and going, right? It's not good or bad, it's just anatomy, yeah. It's very strange to do the legs in the opposite direction. You just get used to it, which is a good reason to change it. Let's slowly lengthen and bring that leg in, give it a little shake. Okay, one last stretch for our hips. So if you have issues with your hip, you might just bring that foot to the floor. You could bring it to a block, to a stool, or get it up and over that thigh. Oh, so just the same here as we were flexing that foot. This is the leg trying to get closer to the floor without us pushing it down. And let's work on this hip, which is not necessarily fun work. Keep this left foot flexed, keep the spine long, and we'll hinge forward. So you maybe only come forward an inch before you feel that stretch in the outer hip. Oh, so when you get to that point, take a couple of breaths, let everything relax, and you might get a little bit more movement. Slowly come out of that. That felt so good. Unwind, maybe move that leg around. And then we'll try the other hip. So might be very different than the other side. So you may need to leave this one on the floor. If not, you can bring it up. Again, a little bit of action trying to make that leg turn itself out. Feel that work on the hip. And then you can relax it and hinge forward. Feels shorter. Yeah. Mine are very different, yeah. Yep. Well, you're both right-handed, and that's your right leg, so, yeah. That's where you have, yeah. And let's slowly unwind, reluctantly come up, unwind that leg, let it move around a little bit. Think about if there's any bit of your body that you didn't move enough and you want to have a little bit more movement. Let's take, moving the jaw, whatever you need to move, so that you can set up comfortably for Shavasana. So we'll finish the way we started, sitting up nice and tall and then letting that upper back rest against the chair. Let's bring the hands down, pull the elbows back so you're So let's start from the top of the head. And I had this new thought this morning. I don't know if it will work. So we kind of scan down through the body. Like we're used to doing that. I want you to think about each part getting heavy and almost like a sensation of maybe melting, but just heaviness. So starting from the top of the head, that's pushing down a little bit. And then the forehead, the cheekbones, and the jaw. The whole face is heavy. Through the neck, to the shoulders, the upper back between the shoulder blades, down the back ribs, past the waist, to your tailbone. Let the chest be heavy, sinking down through the belly, down to your pubic bone. Feel the heaviness of the arms, hanging down from the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, and the hands are so heavy on your legs. And feel how heavy your legs are, sinking into the chair. The knees, your lower legs, through your ankles, into your feet. And focus on the exhale a little bit. Don't change the breathing, but just notice that exhale. And with each exhale, imagine you're getting heavier and you're sinking deeper and deeper. So heavy. With that heaviness comes some relaxation. Just give into it. And then starting from the bottom up, find the lightness, as though your feet could float off the floor, lengthening through the ankles, sweeping up through the calf muscles, through the knees, lengthening through the legs. You could almost float off the chair. The belly is light, the spine is long, the neck is long. Focus on the inhale. With each inhale, you're getting lighter. That you could float off the chair. You weigh nothing. You could just drift away. 2 more breaths, focusing on that inhale and the lightness. And let your breathing return to normal. And begin to move your fingers and your toes, moving at the wrists and ankles, lengthening the arms and the legs, and maybe take a big stretch overhead. Now when you're ready, I'll sit up nice and tall and bring the hands to the heart. Take a deep breath in and let everything go. Thank you all for coming today and for sharing your practice with me. And we are sending so much love and positive feelings to our absent friends, and we really hope we get to see them again soon. So thinking about them all the time. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.